Talking about Pastor Greg Locke so much is he is the perfect example of where religion and politics intersect in a toxic way. So, let's go ahead and take a look at his Twitter. You know, this wonderful, beautiful place where nothing but positivity happens, and when discussions are had, they are always had in the proper dialectic form. Everybody understands that their foundational axioms are subjective to their own beliefs, and everybody walks in knowing that they do have to justify their positions, and everybody has a firm understanding of epistemology, correct source methodology, and the biggest thing, the best thing I can give Twitter props for, nobody ever devolves into ad hominem attacks. Nobody. Never once, not ever. Now, you guys will probably note that everything I've just said is a lie. And speaking of liars, let's talk about Locke. Not that I think that he's lying in most of the stuff he's saying. I just think that in general he is. If you tell people you're gonna burn in hell. Anywho, Greggy Poo, what are you upset about today? These court-packing thugs are liars and power-hungry scoundrels. We told you this garbage was their agenda, but no! Trump's tweets hurt your feelings! Okay, so what's he talking about? Currently, conversation is happening right now about whether or not we should pack the courts. Now, what does that mean? Well, while there are 9 Supreme Court justices, we have 13 districts that they are meant to represent. The conversation right now that's happening is, should we have 13 Supreme Court justices, not 9, to more accurately represent the 13 districts that we have here? If you are watching this video and you want a coherent and cogent argument on this conversation, like on this topic, then do me a giant favor, go in the description and please go to Jen Aldrich's channel. She has a wonderful video about court packing, the arguments for it, and she did this back in like mid-2020. And already kind of basically showed what direction this was going to go in ages ago. So keep that in mind. If you want a coherent argument as to why court packing is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, by all means, go check out her video. Till then, we're going to continue on here. Greg Locke then goes on to say, or actually previously said, if you actually believe Joe Biden won the presidency, we will never be friends, and that's okay with me. Your mind is too dangerous and delusional to trust being around you, so move along. All right, so Greg Locke, I just gotta say right now, I am perfectly fine not being your friend. Holy shit, you have no idea. On my list of Christmas gifts, the best one in the world is always granted to me every Christmas, and that is us not being friends. You have no idea how much joy it brings me to merely not be associated with you. Holy shit. But I will say this, though. If you believe Joe Biden didn't win the presidency, you're going to have to come up with some coherent evidence that cannot be easily disputed by literally any expert in the fields of electoral progress. And since Greg Locke doesn't have that, we'll just continue to laugh at him. CNN caught cheering over higher China virus death rates because it was good for ratings and bad for Trump. Disgusting demons. Did they? Did anybody put some sources in here? Hold up, did you actually just admit that the virus is actually killing people? Which lane are you in, buddy? So, is there actually video evidence that's being dropped here? Okay, so we have something here. CNN director reveals that network practices art of manipulation to change the world. Okay, all networks do that. Also, thank you very much, egodfrey72, for becoming a follower. This is probably a good opportunity. If you are watching and you are not already following me over on Twitch, please go ahead and do so. These streams take place over there, and I'm trying to make sure that they happen every couple days at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're watching this over on YouTube, then maybe consider subscribing. So if you want to subscribe over on Twitter as well, I'm not gonna be upset. I would actually be very happy. COVID, gangbusters with ratings right, which is why we are consistently have the death toll on our side. Let's make it higher. No such thing as unbiased news. I mean, yeah, there is no such thing as unbiased news. By the way, before we go into this, just know that I hate CNN too. Not a big fan of them either, but let's go ahead and...
It's fear. Like, fear really drives numbers. Fear is the thing that keeps you tuned in. If it bleeds, it leads. Yeah.
If it bleeds, it leads?
Yeah. No one ever says those things out loud, but it's obvious.
Okay, well, one, it's from Project Veritas, which is already a shit source, but two, it's cherry-picking the things that he's saying? It's not that he's wrong. Like, anybody who's ever been on this planet for long enough knows that negativity drives views. I could do an experiment if I had the disposable income to do so. I could do an experiment on my channel where I did nothing but positivity. Nothing but positivity on my channel for every single video. And because I'm viewed as a politics, philosophy, religion, etc. debunking channel, me being positive for every video going forward with no negativity, I guarantee you that my numbers would tank for the month that I did that experiment in. And when I've got enough of disposable income, I am perfectly fine doing that experiment. But anybody who's done news cycle shit knows that negativity breeds views. It keeps people tuned in. For the most part, more people will watch negativity in the news than positivity. And it works that way for CNN, it works that way for Fox, works that way for MSNBC, it works that way for every news network on the planet. As humans, we're drawn to it. You know the saying, it's like a train crash. It's so horrible, but you can't look away. There's a reason that saying exists. But, so again, it's not that Greg Locke is wrong in what he's saying here. It's that the conclusions he's probably wanted you to reach from this statement are not the conclusions that we'll actually get to. I say he then goes on to say, we're scrolling down his Twitter, so it's that he said previously, wondering if rioters and looters will need the a vaccine passport. Asking for a stupid government that has lied to you. They spend so much time talking about looters and rioters and never actually talking about protesters, proving the point that rioters existing is way more beneficial than they'd argue against. Constantly. Like, again, I can sit here and make the case forever that nonviolent protesting is the way to go, and I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. But if 1,000 groups do a nonviolent protest with no news coverage, nothing happens. But the minute one of them turns violence, the news jumps on it. And again, that proves the point of the previous notion. Negativity breeds news. And it's stupid. It's stupid that the world is so ass backwards and broken that way. That's how it is. Hell, I actually remember during Pokemon Go, watching the newscasters out in Marietta Square, waiting, literally just waiting around for something to happen. And finally, somebody got drunk and jumped up on a light post and just started shrieking Team Valor and dislodged the lamppost because it wasn't meant to carry a freaking human, and broke the there's broken glass everywhere afterwards, and of course news coverage happened after that. And I'm just watching, and note, I had previously been on the news twice before this in Marietta Square, because it was the initial Pokemon Go conversation that was getting news, and then as soon as that started to die in the news cycle, they were waiting for something bad to happen. And I was terrified that was going to happen, because I was worried that would be used as part of a narrative to say, hey, we can't play Pokemon Go in Marietta Square anymore. This was years ago when Pokemon Go first came out, but the fact of the matter is, at that time and at this time, the news will report on negativity, and they will jump on it. And in many cases, they are sitting there waiting around for things to go negative so they have a story to cover. That's normal. That happens. And that point seems to be lost on Greg when he says shit like this. Then we have, Fauci is a criminal. Does he have anything to substantiate that? Nothing? Cool. Nothing. Nothing to substantiate that, because that's Greg Locke, and of course he doesn't. Next tweet, the left is only trying to do as much damage as quickly as possible. America will rise. The lies will be exposed. The stolen election is an absolute fact at this point. Can't handle that from a pastor? Oh well, Joel Osteen, but I'm just warming up. Okay, Greg Locke, I think I'm going to talk to you right now. Okay, it doesn't matter that you're a pastor saying this shit. I would argue that maybe it would be in your best interests as a pastor to not get overly political, because if your goal is to move people to heaven, then moving them politically right is automatically lowering the amount of people you're going to convert to Jesus, just as a matter of numbers, okay? Secondly, I know that your church lost its 501c3 ages ago, and these are some of the reasons why. It's kind of funny, actually. But again, if you're going to argue about the stolen election, maybe show some evidence? Maybe? You say the lies will be exposed, but wait, hold on. Shouldn't those lies have already been exposed for you to come to the conclusion that the election was stolen? I'm largely a proponent of believing something after it's been proven, otherwise settling into a comfortable default. Because otherwise, we are believing things without reason. What reason do you have to believe the election was stolen? Now, if you are going to make the point that the election was stolen because more people voted for Joe Biden, then yeah, sure, why not? More people voted for Joe Biden than Trump. I'm perfectly okay accepting that fact. I don't think that's why you believe the things you did. The media only covers the shootings, the violence, the deaths that fit their racism narrative. Wait, hold on. Hold on. You're making the point about the media only covering the bad stuff? Okay. Also, yes, the media will generally cover things that fit a narrative that is being spun there. Otherwise, people are going to jump on them and say that they're being inconsistent, which is a problem. You're right. But if we covered every single shooting, every single one, you wouldn't like the end result of that either. Because if every single shooting was covered, every single one, mind you, there'd probably be a lot more Americans comfortable talking about gun control, which I'm sure is not your goal. Compliance with tyranny is not the new normal. Just say no. Just say no to what, dude? In fact, actually, I'm going to ask that right now. Just here, Greggy Poo. Greggy Pants. Mr. I would like to donate to Planned Parenthood in your name. Say no to what? Please. Please enlighten me, sir. I'd love to know. I'm pretty sure he's just saying say no to masks. Let's see if there's some context in here. Nothing else from him. But, nah. Also, isn't it weird that a guy who follows the law of a totalitarian god says say no to tyranny? I noticed there was a comment that said something kind of similar to that in there as well. We shall not be infringed. Not now, not ever. Biden and his goons will not win. Number 2, always. Okay, so, should I point out that Trump actually restricted your gun rights more than Obama did? Now, that's nothing to say about Biden. I don't know exactly what's been going on with Biden and gun control, but historically, the Democrats have not been coming for your guns. We'll see what happens at the end of the Biden presidency. We'll see if you're allowed to have any of your guns by the time he's done in office. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what reality says. Well, that was a weird sniffle. I am so sorry for everybody that had to hear that. I was trying to sniff normally, and it turned into a bad one. Sinuses are bad. The word of God is being fulfilled right before our very eyes. In what way? In what way? I'm just curious. Greg. In what way? And please, be specific. You have a tendency of being very vague with these ad hoc prophecies. Which is my opinion on that. The problem with prophecies and pastors generally is that they'll say that the Bible said that this thing would happen, and lo and behold, it came to pass, and it's usually something that happened within the Bible, so I don't care, or it's something that is so incredibly vague that you can do a post hoc thing with it no matter what. Corona didn't shut down churches, cowardly pastors did! So what about the ones that died? Awkward. Jesus is alive! You know what? Nailed it. We'll just go with that one. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of Christians who were like, amen, brother, to that, and there's going to be some atheists who are more familiar with my content who are realizing, oh, he's talking about being railed by Romans. It's hard to understand how Delta could get any worse, but alas, here we are. The more woke they go, the more broke they'll become. It is a shame. They'll have to get some really great employees. It is an epic leadership fail. What is going on with Delta? What is going on with Delta? Hold on. For those who need context, Delta was getting protests and threats of boycotts for donating to the sponsors of Georgia's new voter suppression bill. So now they're saying that what they did was unconstitutional. Well, yeah, because our fucking voter suppression stuff that's been happening as a result of, what's his name, Brian Kemp? That shit is bad and unconstitutional. Dude, do you think when you post... Also, is Delta going broke? I don't think so. I really don't think Delta's going broke, dude. Hold on. Delta stock prices. And if their stock prices are going down right now, it's probably as a result of... Let's see here. So let's take 6 months. So they're on a slight downward trend right now? But compared to 2020, of course, compared to 2020, their stocks are higher. Maybe we should go to 5 years. Okay, so 2020, they dipped down to nothing because of COVID. That started in April. But their stock's been climbing up. Dude, their stock's doing what you would expect. Do you think before you post? That would be great. That would be 10 out of 10. Apparently calling out Satanism is racist. Whatever. I stand by my Lil Nas X statements. Oh, did you say stuff about Lil Nas X? Let's see. Right-wing pastor goes off on rapper Satan Shoes and racist sermon. You tell Lil Nas X I said so. God, imagine thinking that Lil Nas X cares about you. I know he doesn't give a shit about me. I'm comfortable with that.
Greg Locke, the conservative pastor of Global Vision Bible Church, currently held in a tent, lashed out at Lil Nas X in a sermon on Sunday about the rapper's promoted so-called Satan shoes. In his weekly sermon, Locke called Lil Nas X a thug for his connection to the shoes, which features pentagram and a drop of human blood.
I didn't even know who Lil Nas X was,
he told the congregation.
Little thug, whoever he is. I had no idea who he was.
Locke said that he would never be able to listen to the rapper's music again because it's a bunch of devil-worshipping wicked nonsense.
You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind.
He continued,
You tell Little Nas X I said so. Bunch of Satanism, bunch of wickedness, bunch of devilism, bunch of demonism, bunch of psychotic wickedness.
Watch the clip below via Right Wing Watch.
Well, I don't want to watch the clip below. I really don't. I just voiced everything. I'm fine. So wait a minute, hold on. Locke. Greg. You mean somebody's freedom to market, their freedom of speech, all that shit, that upsets you? You're upset that somebody LARPed to Satan shit with the shoes? You know in the music video with that promotion, he literally kills the devil, right? Did you not see that? Or did you not care? Honestly, I think the fact that Lil Nas X is black and gay is enough for Pastor Greg Locke to be upset. Are we to believe that Locke listened to Lil Nas X? Look, Country Road, he probably listened to Country Road once. Maybe. The Constitution is my vaccination passport. Okay. Go off, Queen, I guess. Lil Nas X doesn't get a free pass because he's black or because he's gay. The dude is a Satanist. I do not care about his skin color or his sexual perversity. Actually, dude, because you called it sexual perversity, I think you care a lot. I pray the power of Jesus breaks the bondage of demonism in this young man's life. Wait, so, hold on. Hold on, which is it? Which is it, Locke? I'm curious. I'm curious. Which is it? Does Lil Nas X not get a free pass because this is his fault? Or is it because of the bondage of demonism? Oh, whoa. Moreover, you say you don't care about him being gay, but then you call it perversity preference, which leads me to believe you care. I wanted to say you care very much, but it's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me do that. And of course, here's the one thing he's right on. Apparently this is in, I believe, the migrant facilities. The kids being stuck in there. Yeah, that shit's still bad now. So, I mean, at least he's consistent there. That's cool. I'm glad that circumstantially me and Greg Locke can agree that kids being locked in those facilities is bad. He goes, male, female, nothing else. Get over it. You know what? We have an easy one for this one. Citation needed. Let's see. Oh, and now he's talking about the, so, when the COVID vaccines were rolling out, Krispy Kreme was offering a free donut to anybody who got a COVID vaccine. Like, dude, companies are doing that because it's promotion for them. It's marketing. You have an issue with that? You have an issue with capitalism. I have an issue with capitalism. I'm perfectly fine talking about those issues. We could be perfectly... I don't want to say allies. That's very bad. That's not something I want to say in regards to Greg Locke. We could be unwittingly on the same side-ish when it comes to capitalism, if you so chose. Kind of. Said, wait, is there legislation about VTubers? Is there? I'll check that out here in a bit. That'd be awkward as shit. But with all that said, what do you guys think? It's Greg Locke. I haven't had a chance to go through his shit in a while, and dude, just off the handle is the only mode I think he understands. Honestly. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Please follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/NekoSuris. And please support the channel and what I do if you like what I do by following me over on Patreon. As always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.